This is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse first appearance Detective Comics number 27 Batman. Can you believe it? This is Batman's 85th anniversary. 85 years ago, 1939, the Cape Crusader was introduced. And this is a figure based off of that. I found this guy at Target today, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman. Here he's in the package. Might look a little corny. He's got the big ears, pink gloves, a wrench, display stand, and a collector's card. One side of the package, Batman from Detective Comics number 27. Other side simply says Batman. At the bottom, there's his barcode in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's a replica of Detective Comics 27, at least the cover. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And here's the regular version of Detective Comics 27 Batman, next to the Platinum Chase version. I believe this one is based off the cover art, and the other one is based off his look inside the comics. And I did get the entire wave today, including the two Platinum Chase variants. Took 3 targets, but here we go. Now I just need to get a couple more of the Platinum figures for my unopened collection, but huge step in the right direction. We have both versions of Azrael in his Batman armor, the Nightfall Batman, and then both versions of the first appearance Detective Comics number 27 Batman. Alright, now that these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. They both come with a display stand, a collector's card, a total of 6 hands, and a wrench. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figures. So this is the first appearance version of Batman from Detective Comics 27, 85 years ago in 1939. Now you may wonder, why did he debut in Detective Comics 27? Why not number 1? Well, Detective Comics started off as stories featuring different detectives, and Batman was a recurring character starting in number 27 and quickly took over the entire title. For a long time, Detective Comics featured a Batman story and then maybe a side other detective story at the end. Now, Batman was a lot different back then. The guy on the left with the pink gloves is how he looked in the first appearance. Back then, he carried a gun, he killed people, he was a dark creature of the night, but they kind of got all of his character traits smoothed out over the next, 10 years or so. It should also be noted that Detective Comics 27 is an extremely valuable comic. One sold last year for, I believe, $1.74 million. Now, it is not the most valuable comic. There are plenty of comics more valuable than that, but that's still a pretty impressive feat. I would say nobody watching this video has a legit copy of Detective Comics 27. I know I don't, and I would love to. I have a bunch of reprints, but that doesn't count. So we have 2 versions of the figure. The one on the left is from the interior of the comic, and that's how he looked at the beginning. Pink gloves. And for the life of God, I cannot think of why they would ever give him pink gloves. His entire outfit is dark creature of the night, black cowl, black cape, black trunks, black boots, gray body, and then these sort of random pink gloves. Why would they make a decision like that? It does not make sense. And the other one has blue shading. I believe the Platinum Chase is based off of the cover of Detective Comics 27, and then the pink glove version is based off the interior. Now, he didn't keep that look for too long. Batman, his look has evolved over the years, but it really doesn't look that far from where it started. So let's take a look. Start with his head. Screams old school. He's got the long ears that kind of go out to the sides. Stern face. Like I said, it's still with the Hush body, which is a large torso, strong. Pink gloves, kind of random. He's got the utility belt with the big circle at the front, and it still has some of those sort of capsule type things. Double jointed knees. Double jointed elbows. As a whole, he looks good. Now they have this cloth soft goods cape with a wire on the side, and McFarlane has just been killing it with their capes lately. It looks great. Now, this one came out of the package with a bunch of wrinkles, and that's kind of annoying. The other one came out perfect. Still, looks like it should get a ton of poses and look really good. And then we have the other version. This guy has blue sort of self-shading on top of his head, based off the cover. We look like that. Blue on the inside of the cape. It looks fantastic. Look at that lining. Blue gloves, and more shading on the boots. Like I said, this cape came out absolutely perfect, straight, no wrinkles. I wish they both did. As a whole, These figures both look fantastic. When I saw the platinum, I was kind of like, why are they even doing that? But looking at the cover, it kind of all makes sense now. And forget all the making sense, it just looks really good. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I think is very well done. It has that signature look from old school first appearance Batman. I love the long ears. And a close look at the Platinum Chase version's head sculpt. Paint job is pretty much the same, except he has that blue stuff on the top of his head, which looks a little weird, but in context, makes sense. And here are the figures, broken down as far as they can go, with all of their removable parts detached. Now let's check out their accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's their display stand, McFarlane display stand that we've seen a million times before. It's a black circle, thin, basic, but very effective at standing up your figures. So here's the collector's card. This is a replica of the cover of Detective Comics 27, 1939, originally priced at 10 cents, now worth millions. And just so happens, here's a reprint of that same issue. I actually have 3 different reprints of Detective Comics 27. I believe this was some sort of Nabisco giveaway. This is a more modern reprint, and this is the Millennium Edition. Now, if you look at the cover, Batman has that sort of blue shading on his head and inside of his cape. You can also see the blue gloves. But if you look inside the issue, Batman there, he's got the pink gloves, and that is why he came with a wrench. He broke out of this sort of prison with a blue shaded wrench. Pink gloves, blue gloves, explaining both versions. And I realize I kind of skipped over it, but if anybody wants to read the description on the back of the card, here it is. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 6 of them, 3 right hands, and 3 left hands. Here's Batman with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Here's his second pair of hands. These are some flat, outstretched hands. If it was a Superman figure, I would call them flying hands. Not really sure why this Batman came with these hands. I feel like they're unnecessary. And here's his third pair of hands. I think these hands are really ugly. They're kind of contorted in this weird shape. I guess these are his gripping hands. I think these are the same hands that debuted with the infected Superman. And I think they're just so ugly. Look at them. I wish they would retire these hands. I hate when they use them. Then we have his wrench. And sculpt is not bad. You can see the sort of detail on the handle and then where it'll grip stuff. My problem is, it's done in this blue color, which is ridiculous for a wrench. It should be done in gray or silver, but it is accurate to the panel that I showed you earlier. Here's Batman holding that wrench with this horrible, horrible gripping hand. I guess he's about to work on the Batmobile. And let's talk about his cape. So he has this cloth soft goods cape with a wire in it. It almost looks like it's pleated. All these different sort of folded lines. Now the cape itself can outstretch pretty far. Look at that. Dark Knight. And it has this bendy wire so you can get into different poses, you know, sort of flowing in the wind like that. Maybe drape him down to the bottom. Can't really fully cover the front up and have him, you know, sort of draping in front. But it is a very nice cape. It looks good when it's laying flat, and it looks good when it's outstretched. Now I wanted to check out the differences and reuse between the Three Jokers Batman, Detective Comics 27, and the Hush Batman. These two seem to share the most parts, so let's check them out. Obviously their heads are completely different, but they're attached the same way. The head and neck is one solid piece. Cape, obviously different as well. The top part of the torso is different. You can see not only the bat symbol is different, but the muscle here, different on those two guys. The stomach exactly the same. You can see that signature wrinkle in the fabric. I believe the diaper piece is the same with a different belt. Now as far as the arms go, looks like the bicep, shoulder area is the same. Looks like that area is the same, and then a different forearm. And their legs are exactly the same. You can even see the pointed boot on both of them. Now if we were to take the Three Jokers Batman, once again, same stomach, same diaper, different belt, and I think the top part of the torso might be the same. Obviously the bat symbol is removed, this thing is sculpted on here and they smooth it out, but the muscles look the same at the bottom. Biceps are the same. Top part of the legs is the same, but the bottom is different. So A lot of reuse. We've been seeing a lot of that from McFarlane lately, but I really don't have a problem. I think this figure looks good, and this is what I call smart reuse. There's a lot of dumb reuse from McFarlane, but this one, not so bad. Now that I've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.3, 7.4 inches tall, which can translate to just under 19 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.6 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate from side to side. Mine's pretty tight. Can look up, not much, straight ahead, down quite a bit. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders, ball joint goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate, and it is hinged as well. In his torso, he's got a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Another one at his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion in the torso. Legs complete of splits, McFarlane style hip joints. They go forward about that far, go to the side, and then go up a little bit more. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, to articulation. Here's a look at these two first appearance Batman figures in front of my reprints of Detective Comics number 27. This is a very appropriate Batman figure for his 85th anniversary. I like it. I like it a lot. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Detective Comics 27 Batman figures. Here they are, next to the DC Direct version of the first appearance Batman. Now this is not the original release. There was a single release, but I don't have that one. I believe that one has pink gloves. This was a re-release from a 75th anniversary Batman 4-pack 10 years ago. 75th anniversary version of the first appearance Batman, next to the 85th anniversary of the first appearance Batman by McFarlane Toys. Which one do you guys think did better? McFarlane Toys, I'd say, is a better figure overall, but the DC Direct has a little bit more of an accurate head sculpt with the head and the ears, etc. And I also have the black and white version of the first appearance Batman, 2 of the 3 different DC Direct varieties, and 2 of the 2 McFarlane versions. Here's the first appearance Superman from Action Comics number 1. That debuted in 1938, alongside the first appearance Batman from Detective Comics 27, and that debuted in 1939. Superman beating Batman by 1 year. And just like the first appearance Batman, the first appearance Superman also had a Platinum Chase variant. And I'd say the Superman 1, the Platinum Chase variant, is better, and on the Batman 1, probably the original one is a little better. Visually, maybe the Platinum one's better, but accuracy-wise, the original version. Now, the Superman was part of the collector's edition for $30, and the Batman, which is actually a bigger figure, and a cloth soft goods wired cape, and all this good stuff, was only $22. Head scratcher. Now let's check them out next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures. Here they are, next to several Year 1 McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures. You can see the first appearance Batman is on the taller side of things. He's about the same size as the Dark Knight's Metal Batman, or the Todd McFarlane designed Batman. And then here are several more McFarlane Batman figures next to these first appearance Batman. These are all from the comics, and are all a little bit shorter than the Detective Comics Batman figures. Then, next to several more McFarlane Batman figures, these are from different various forms of media, and except for the Arkham Knight Batman, they're all shorter than the Detective Comics Batman. And now, here they are next to several more McFarlane Batman figures. These are all based off of the Hush and 3 Joker's Batman body, which is a pretty large Batman body. Detective Comics 27 shares a lot of parts, and is the same height and scale. Now let's check them out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here they are, next to the rest of this wave. This is the most recent Batman wave. We have Azrael in his Batman armor, first appearance Batman, Black Gray Nightfall Batman, and then the Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance and Azrael Batman figures. Here they are, next to the Target exclusive Cassandra Cain Batgirl and Rival. And here they are, next to the JLA wave. We have both versions of Superman, 2 completed versions of Plastic Man, Black Suit Batman, both versions of Aquaman, and both versions of John Stewart Green Lantern. Then, next most recent Page Puncher wave. This is a Superman-themed wave. Superman, Ghost of Krypton. We have both versions of Val Zod Superman, the Armored Superman, Ghost of General Zod, and both versions of Brainiac. And now, with the digital wave, we have the Silver Age Hal Jordan Green Lantern, the DC Rebirth Batman, and the DC Classics Aquaman. Here they are, next to the Amazon exclusive Kilowog and Kyle Rayner Green Lantern 2-pack. And finally, next to the Walmart exclusive Wally West Flash and Vampire Nightwing. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know what signs you can mix them with. Since they're McFarlane toys, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we already checked them out next to a bunch of other McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures, here they are next to some more McFarlane toys. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack specific wrestling figures and some DST or Diamond Select toys, here they are next to a Dairy Queen coupon. And here they are next to some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mattel and Mezco Batman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, these are some really nice Detective Comics 27 Batman figures. I think they look excellent. I don't mind the reuse at all. They're maybe a little bit bigger than I like, but it works good. Old school, sort of noir, pulp Detective Batman, ready to beach up. Now the regular version, it's a little bit more accurate, so I think I prefer that one to the other one. But I have to admit, the blue shading is very nice. The blue on the inside of the cape, it all looks very good. I'd say visually, the Platinum one might be a little bit better, but I like a more traditional Batman figure, and the pink glove one is accurate to the first appearance. Their accessories, plenty of hands. Their wrench, which is fairly useless as a whole. Their articulation is everything you expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Sculpt and paint job, excellent. No issues there. Would have been nice if they came with like a batarang or something, but I don't think he was using those back then. If I were to rate the figures, first thought, solid 8 out of 10. Second thought, yes, solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoy these two figures. Really happy to have them. Really happy to find the Platinum. Check them off my list. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.